I pushed open the bedroom door and went still. The disguise was gone. It was him, the man who had stalked my nightmares for months, utterly unaware that I even existed. And now here he lay, stretched across a silk-lined bed, clueless that his empire, his identity, his perfectly crafted reality was about to shatter. It had all started months earlier, the day I married him. Not for affection. Not for desire. For survival. My family damaged, drowning in debt, exposed, needed a way out. He was aging, frail, naive, ideal for someone like me. I slipped into his life like a quiet breath, and he welcomed me like a storm. I smiled, brushed his arm, laughed at every smug remark. Every gesture a calculated performance, every word a snare dressed up as tenderness. I can still see the moment we first met. He lounged in a gold-trimmed lobby, cigar smoke circling him as if he owned the very air. Power radiated off him. And I had walked in with nothing but desperation and the faintest thread of hope. He handed me that hope with a chuckle soaked in expensive bourbon. I wanted what he could give. I needed what he represented. But I never wanted him. At the start, everything was simple. Simple to enchant him, simple to play the loyal wife. I studied his routines, the cadence of his days, the tiny fractures in his ego. I observed without feeling. Each dinner, each whispered praise, each guiding hand on my back, I stored it all like pieces of a puzzle waiting for completion. Then the hints began. Small things. A glance at a phone left unattended. A misplaced comment that didn't match the persona he curated. My heart didn't quicken. My breath didn't hitch. I simply logged it away. And then came the message, one crafted with intention, delivered with carelessness. Betrayal, stark and undeniable, glowing in white letters on a black screen. Shock fluttered through me. I pictured bursting into the room, raging, tearing him apart with fury. But fury is messy. I needed accuracy. I wanted him to break not just publicly, but quietly, deeply, at his core. So I shifted. I stopped being a participant. I became the watcher, and the designer. Planning took over. Every step deliberate. Every ally chosen. Every legal crack exploited. Every secret murmured into the right ear at precisely the right moment. I composed it all like a symphony. I drained his confidence, seeded suspicion, twisted truths with surgical precision. I placed myself so that when the fall arrived, it would look destined, as though fate itself had come to collect its debt. Months passed in this silence of strategy. I became unseen, a phantom in his own home. Friends whispered. Accountants faltered. Lawyers hesitated. He still believed he was invincible. He laughed with the wrong people, trusted the wrong smiles. Every misstep he made became a stone in the architecture of his collapse. And now, standing in that bedroom, the final move imminent, I could almost taste victory. His face, stripped of pretense, revealed a vulnerability he never realized he possessed. He felt something, though. A tension. A shift in the air. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. You know, he finally murmured, voice thin and uneasy. I think someone's been. I cut him off with a single look. A look carrying years of deceit and revelation. The files, the accounts, the whispered truths, the mechanisms were already in motion. His supporters had vanished. His empire would crumble before dawn. I know, I answered quietly. Calm. Controlled. Unforgiving. I know everything. Disbelief hit him first. Then panic. Then the slow, searing understanding that every choice he'd made, every facade he'd upheld, had been mirrored, studied, and dismantled by the one person he underestimated most, me. I walked away, leaving him in that bed he believed embodied his power, knowing that by morning he would grasp the magnitude of my control. By morning, he would realize that his entire world had been nothing but a stage, and I, finally free, finally powerful, would rise from the darkness. The relief that washed over me wasn't happiness. It wasn't triumph. It was clarity, the clean stillness that arrives when justice strikes, quiet yet irreversible. I saved my family. I reclaimed my strength. I proved to a man who saw himself as untouchable that the most dangerous opponent is someone with nothing left to lose. I slipped out of that room like smoke, like inevitability itself. The mask of the dutiful wife stayed on until the final piece dropped. And when he finally understood who had replaced him, his authority, his dominion, his illusions, he had nowhere left to run. And I stood there, unwavering, undefeated, victorious.